Hi, today we're going to be making some little bonbons for an upcoming Napoleon and Josephine Valentine tea that I am hosting. And one thing that I really love about this project is that it repurposes a lot of elements that would possibly be going into the landfill. So here is what you will need. First and foremost, start collecting some tissue paper rolls and some scrapbook paper. My color palette for the party is red and gold, so I've opted for red paper, and I've cut it to the size to wrap around the tissue paper using a paper cutter. It's quick, it's easy. And you'll also need some Dresden trim. I have also used rickrack as well as some ribbon that I had on hand. So whatever you want to use for embellishments, little gold stickers, and we'll also need things to fill the bonbon. So various candies. Because this is for the Dallas-Fort Worth Costumers Guild, I'm also going to be sprinkling some buttons, a little Valentine greeting, and everything will get wrapped up in some repurposed old sewing pattern tissue. Sometimes you make a pattern and you're thinking, oh my gosh, this was an absolutely awful pattern. You don't want to pass it on, but you don't necessarily want to have everything end up in the landfill. So repurposing the tissue is a great thing to do. So let's get started. So again, our scrapbook paper is cut to the size of the toilet paper roll. And so we're simply going to line up the paper and just make sure the ends are even, hold it, and then take your handy dandy stapler and staple the ends. And don't worry about the staple showing because we're going to be covering that in just a moment. So that keeps it really secure. It's not going anywhere. It's perfect. So then take your Dresden trim and a handy dandy hot glue gun, as always, for safety purposes, and an extra piece of napkin or paper towel to wipe up any hot glue. This is a low temp glue gun. If you are using a high temp glue gun, it's always best to keep some ice water on hand in the event any of the hot glue gets on your skin. So just begin by running a thin bead all the way around or until you can see, and then just kind of add your trim. And I started where the seam is because then the bonbon will be placed down, seam down, and you won't be able to see it. It's just a little bit more visually pleasing to do it that way. And then make sure that your ribbon or trim overlaps a little bit. I cut it a little bit long, so I'm just going to snip off the tail a bit. And you may get some hot glue strings, and those come off pretty quickly. So that's one end. Flip it over and just repeat the process. So we're gonna just wrap it just like we did before. It goes together pretty quickly. I'm making a total of 25 of these because I have 25 people attending the tea. And if I wasn't talking to you, I would probably put on a nice Valentine themed movie, or maybe some lovely music just to make the time pass by. It is also a great project to do with your friends. With the exception of the hot glue gun, you could even involve your children in the project. Okay, so our toilet paper roll, cardboard roll, has now been covered with the scrapbook paper, and you can't even see where the staples are because we've covered it with a little bit of Dresden trim. And then on the opposite side of where the seam is, that's where your little decorative sticker or maybe a heart is going to go. So I'm just going to add a little bit of hot glue, and I'm just going to place it right in the center. And this helps to add to the old-fashioned look of the craft. The time frame for the tea I'm hosting is the First Empire era, which occurred in France. In England, it was called the Regency era. So once you have that made, we're ready to fill it. So grab a bit of your tissue paper from an old pattern, and this is where you're going to have fun. So because this is a Valentine tea, I have selected red, white, and pink candies and kisses. We'll put in a little bit of a sweet Valentine note made from some old sheet music and some fun confetti paper shred type of glistening fun to also help fill it. And again, captive audience, so I'm grabbing a few buttons, and then we're just gonna roll the contents up in the tissue paper. Now I've pre-cut a few ribbons because you're gonna then take and wrap a ribbon around one end, and that's going to keep the contents inside. And just make sure that your ribbon is tied in a pleasing manner. I like to put a little angled edge on the ends of my ribbon. And then we're just going to slide it through. You have to gently finesse it through ever so slightly and pull it through. There we go. And then after it's through, you can re-fluff the ends. And then we're going to tie up the other side. This is just a fun little way of decorating a place setting, or you can pass them out as your guests prepare to leave as a sweet reminder of your time together. In the Regency and French Empire era, if you were having a gathering, it was not uncommon to have a sweet little love token for your guests, be it chocolates, a book of poetry, a bit of ribbon if it was a gathering of ladies, just a small little element that would make your guests remember you in the days after the party. So again, fluffing, kind of making sure that the ends are similar in size. And there you go. Can you see? Easy as pie. Now I just have to make a few more. But it's a fun little project, and I hope you've enjoyed it. We're going to be doing some more Napoleon and Josephine themed crafts very soon, and Let me know if you make this. I will also link to the actual website post. I'll do some step-by-step photos if that will help you out. So just look for the link in the comments below and enjoy.